Hello everyone, I'm Corversity, and in this video I'm going to be grading Fanspo trades. If you don't know what Fanspo is basically this website where you're able to interact with your favorite team and then make like mock trades, and you're also able to post them if you have an account. So I'm going to be looking over these trades that people have posted, and yeah. Some of the trending players being traded right now are guys like Kevin Durant, Booker, Bradley Beal, Yusuf Nurkic. Makes sense. They just got swept in the first round. Shout out to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Julius Randle, Bojan Bogdanovic, Andrew Wiggins. Yeah, alright. So, I'm going to be going to trade proposals. And I'm going to be going to top. And I'm going to see the top posts from this week, see how they've been influenced from these playoffs. And the first trade we have here is a 4-team trade between the Knicks, the Kings, the Jazz, and the Wizards. So the Knicks get Kyle Kuzma and 2 second-round picks from the Wizards, which are from the Suns. The Kings get Tyus Jones. Well, it'll be a sign-and trade for Tyus Jones. And the Jazz get Johnny Davis. Okay, that automatically invalidates the trade. Who are the Jazz giving up? Who are they giving up? Yeah, are they not giving up anyone? The Wizards get Julius Randle. I cannot pronounce his name. Davion Mitchell and Chris Duarte. A first from the Knicks and 2 seconds, so they get some draft capital. They trade for Julius Randle, which they're not in a position for winning right now, and I'd say that he's also the better player than Kuzma, so I wouldn't see the Knicks doing this necessarily. They do get some core pieces. Yeah, I don't even know who the Jazz are getting. Am I missing something? No, they're not even trading anyone. They're just taking Johnny Davis's contract, and they're like, "Hey, you're gonna get some minutes here. We're gonna rebuild." And yeah, so I don't really see the Knicks doing this. I don't see why they'd be trading Julius Randle. I understand how he is in the playoffs, but I just think he's the far better player than Kuzma. Wizards, they do get draft capital, but not enough where I think it warrants this trade. Well, no, I guess if you're going to be getting a player as good as Julius Randle, maybe they'd flip him. The Kings will be trading off Davion Mitchell, Chris Duarte, and getting Tyus Jones. They really do need a backup point guard because it hasn't been working out with Davion Mitchell. So I do think this would be good for them. They finally have a good backup point guard, one of the best playmakers in the NBA in terms of being able to keep the ball. He doesn't turn it over very much. And yeah, so the only one who'd be winning this trade is the Kings, and then we have the Wizards slightly behind them. Jazz, I have no idea what they're doing. The Knicks, I'd say they lose the trade, so I'll probably be giving this trade a D. Here's another trade we've got between the Magic, the Trailblazers, and the Wizards. The Magic get their point guard in Anthony Simons, something they've really been needing. They've been running Jalen Suggs at the point, though I think he's just much better at playing the 2, especially since they've been mostly running the offense through Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero. And while that can get stale at times, I do think adding a guy like Anthony Simons, who has the dribbling ability, is something that the Magic really need, especially his shooting as well. They'll be getting a first from the Blazers as well, protected first in 2029. Trailblazers get Deni Avdija, Jett Howard, and a 2025 first-round pick via Denver, and a 2029 first-round pick protected from the Magic. Then the Wizards get Cole Anthony and a 2024 first from the Magic, which I wouldn't see why the Wizards would do this. Deni Avdija is coming off of a career year, good defender, good slasher, and he's still young. I think he's 24 right now. I don't think they're that desperate to get draft capital, especially just one first round pick from the Magic. That's not going to be that great considering the fifth seed. I can see the Magic wanting to do this trade though. The Blazers, they'll be getting Denny Avdija. He's a very good player. Jay Howard, who we haven't really seen much from. He's mostly been spending his time on the bench. And they're getting these two first. Denver first won't be very valuable considering it's just next year. The 2029 first round pick, which is protected by the Magic, we don't really know, but if they do have like Paolo and Franz by them, I'm sure they're going to be fine. So I'd say the Magic, that this is a good deal for the Magic. This is a good deal for the Blazers so they can open up the guard spot considering they have Shaedon Sharpe and Scoot Henderson. So this will allow more of their guards to play. And the Wizards, I don't see them necessarily doing this. I don't see why they trade for Cole Anthony right now. And they already have Jordan Poole, so is he going to be coming off the bench? I don't think they want to have Jordan Poole playing the two again, because that was just not good at all this season. We see that once he was finally allowed to play the point and have a lot more possession of the ball, he was much better of a scorer and a much better of a playmaker. So overall, I give this trade a C, just because I don't see what the Wizards would be doing this trade. But yeah, I'll give it a C+. Yeah, C+. We finally got to the Trae Young deal, of course. Yes, of course. The Hawks will be getting Zach Collins, Devontae Graham, Trey Jones, a 2024 first, a 2025 first from the Bulls, a 2026 first, 2 second-round picks, and 2 more firsts from 2027 and 2029 in exchange for Trae Young. Of course, the Spurs are doing this to get their point guard next to Wemby, and the Hawks will be getting draft capital back. That's how many first? That's 5 first-round picks, all from the Spurs, but the Spurs are elected to get better at this point, so who knows the value of these. Maybe the Bulls one would be good next season. I don't see the Bulls being that good, so maybe they'll be able to get one around like the 15th pick range. But if the Hawks are doing this, it looks like they would be going into a rebuild. They're not necessarily getting anyone to put next to DeJounte Murray. I guess Zach Collins, but outside of that, I don't see this necessarily being a trade if you're trying to retool, more one where you're trying to rebuild. And if they're trying to rebuild, you'd think that the Hawks would be getting their first round picks back that they got from the DeJounte Murray trade. And if they're not really doing that, I don't see why they take this deal, unless they're desperate to trade Trae Young, but they don't have to. He still has more years left on his contract. He's not expiring anytime soon. So if I had to put a grade on this, it would be a D, honestly. I just don't see why the Hawks would do this unless they're getting their own picks back, at least some of them, a mixture of them, maybe at least like 2, 3. Now here we've got a Donovan Mitchell trade, something that definitely has the potential to happen. I mean, even right now, the Cavaliers, they tanked in order to get that matchup against the Magic, and now they're tied 2-2, which is crazy. Them losing the first round here would be very disappointing. And if it is deemed disappointing by Donovan Mitchell, maybe he could want out from the team. And the Heat are definitely a destination where he could look to go. So the Heat be getting, they're getting Donovan Mitchell, and the Cavaliers get Tyler Hero, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Nikola Jovic, and 3 first-round picks, one in 2024, one in 2026, and one in 2028. If this is the trade for Donovan Mitchell, I don't think it's bad for either teams. Heat, of course, is good for them. They're finally getting their superstar next to Jimmy. If he decides not to take the regular season seriously, then they have Donovan Mitchell to help carry the weight for the team. So we have Mitchell, Jimmy Butler, and Bam. And the Cavaliers will now be getting Darius Garland as the main ball handler, I suppose, moving Hero more off screens. Defensively, probably not that good of a backcourt still. Still some of the problems that came with the Donovan Mitchell trade. Jaime Jaquez Jr., Nikola Jovic, those are definitely some guys who've shown a lot of potential this season, and 3 first-round picks from the Heat. Maybe they could potentially be good, especially this 2028 one. So just like most superstar trades, you're not going to be getting back the same value, so you have to take that into account. I don't expect the Cavaliers to be getting a player as good as Donovan Mitchell back from a trade, so this might just be one of the better trades that you can get from it. If I'm going to put a grade on this, I'd give it a B+. I think it's a pretty good trade. Makes sense for both teams, especially considering their situations. And for the last and final trade, we've got a trade between the Lakers, the Trailblazers, and the Nets. The Lakers will be getting Jeremy Grant, Malcolm Brogdon, and a 2030 first from the Blazers. It's protected. Jeremy Grant, good score from 3 levels. You would probably be having him at the 3 as their third option. Malcolm Brogdon, good facilitator, can get downhill and provide some rim pressure for the team. So I guess this would be an alternative if they aren't able to get their star in maybe a Donovan Mitchell or any other star guard in the offseason. The Trailblazers get an expiring contract from Ben Simmons, Rui Hachimura, Gabe Vincent. I guess these are just to fill in the cap. Jalen Hood-Schifino, and they get 4 first-round picks, a 2027 first from the Philadelphia 76ers, a 2029 first from the Lakers, a 2029 first-round pick protected from the Suns. This could potentially be valuable. I'm not sure how the Suns will look in 5 years, so maybe this will be a good pick. And a protected first in 2020 and 2030 from the Lakers. And any trade you're able to get 4 first-round picks in exchange for Jeremy Grant and Malcolm Brogdon, you probably take them. You'll be able to get off Jeremy Grant's extremely large contract. Malcolm Brogdon expires in a year, and at most you're giving up a 2030 first while it's also protected. This will be 6 years down the line, and I do think their future is somewhat secure for this to not necessarily be a problem. And finally, we have the Nets. They get D'Angelo Russell back for 1 season. This is under the assumption that he accepts his player option, though I don't personally think he will. Then they get Robert Williams, Matisse Thybulle. I don't really see what they're trying to do here. I guess to attempt to build up a team. Robert Williams is a very good defender, though he's been getting injured a lot. So who knows if this will be something the Nets will be willing to deal with. Matisse Thybulle, very good defender to help this team, and D'Angelo Russell, who adds a lot of 3-point shooting that this team desperately needs. Though I just don't see this being a trade that necessarily makes them that good. Maybe they'll be a play-in team at best. So while I see this happening for maybe the Lakers and the Trailblazers, I don't see the Nets necessarily gaining very much from this. So I'd have to give this a C+, C-. So that's basically it. If you want to see me do any more videos like this, let me know down below. Let me know your opinions on these trades and some ideas of some trades that you believe should happen. Leave a like, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.